amigos. I'm on my way to the post office to check my mail. Last I heard, a fella from my SaddleTramp Facebook, he sent me a message and he asked me if I could use a tool on my Ironhead in order to be able to install the pressure plate carefully and more properly than using that ratchet strap that you guys saw when I took that thing apart. So I'm thinking that tool is going to be at the post office because it's been a little over a week since I communicated with the guy. I think his name is Peg Leg Dave the Gnome. Anyway, it's after 5 o'clock. It's about 6 o'clock right now. Most people are on their way home. The post office is closed, so I know there's nobody there, which I like it that way because everybody looks like zombies anymore with their zombie face they got on their face. So I'm gonna get to the post office and we'll see if there's anything there, if there is anything there. Looks like somebody else had the same idea that I had. Legally, we're supposed to have a mask on when we go out in public, so I hope a motorcycle helmet is good enough for them. Peg Leg Dave the Gnome. All right, Dave, I got your stuff. There we go. Now let's get on to the house. And here it is, just a couple of days later, and it is obviously a rainy weekend out there. So why not spend a nice rainy day opening up this package? I didn't get around to it when I got back to the house because, you know, as we all have life responsibilities we need to tend to, but I'm not going to go into that. So let's get this thing open and we're going to go ahead and see how much further we get on this thing right here. I may just go ahead and put the primary back together. So without me talking so much, let's get this opened up. It looks like he sent a little bit of a lanyard. Hey, nice little note. He says, here is a little something for your young lady too. Compliments of Slim, aka Peg Leg Dave the Gnome. You know what, Dave? That's so cool. Your handle is Slim. You must be a truck driver or something. Well, I only say that because my dad drove trucks and that was his handle. People called him Slim all of my life. So, but anyway, that's pretty cool. I'm going to remember that handle you got right there, truck driver or not. But check it out, guys. This is the tool that he sent me, and looks like it's homemade. And let's see if we can figure out how to use this thing, since I've never used one of these. But before we do that, I'm going to show you guys how a clutch works. Those of you who don't know how a clutch works, I'll give you an idea in the perspective of this Ironhead. Okay, first off, these are the old clutches, okay? So one of the things I did is that I put, well, not brand new clutches in this motorcycle, but I put some better than these clutches in that clutch basket. The friction discs were not in that too good of a shape. If you can look here, there's not much left on these friction discs. I mean, the material is just about all gone. So I found some clutch discs that were used. I didn't, you know, kind of went the easy and cheap way around and bought some used ones for about 20 bucks instead of spending about 60 to 100 bucks on some brand new ones. But also my steel plates were in very good shape, so I went ahead and used those too, and I got them all installed in this clutch basket right here. And with them installed in the clutch basket, I can go ahead and show you guys an idea and give you sort of a visual how this stuff works. You know, whenever you're pulling on that clutch handle and when you release that clutch handle. So check this out. All right, I got my nuts already on these little studs right here just so I can pull this thing in and out. But what I have that I have not installed yet that's on the face of these clutches right now is this pressure plate with these coil springs, as you guys saw in a previous video when I took these things off. When they're installed, these springs are behind this pressure plate and they are compressed and they're held on by these lock nuts. Okay, so let's say for a minute that the pressure plate is installed. Whenever you pull in your clutch handle, there's a mechanism in the primary that pushes against the pressure plate that causes these clutches to be pushed inward, okay? And with your engine running, these clutches can stay still. See how I can turn that so easily? Okay, so when you let off the clutch, the springs are doing their job and they're pushing the pressure plate outward, and it causes for these clutches to be pulled outward like that. With it being pulled outward, just with my own non-superhuman strength, I cannot turn these clutches. And so when that happens, that means that your clutches is engaged whenever you got it in first gear, neutral, second, or third. You kind of get an idea. So again, pull in the clutch handle, clutches go that way, bike is in neutral. Let off the clutch handle, they come out, they engage this clutch basket, and you have a transfer of power from the engine by this primary chain from the sprocket to the clutch basket, which will turn your rear wheel. But without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and see how I can make this thing work. I've never used one of these, but I'm fixing to find out, and I'm sure some of you guys know what this is for. So hopefully I don't break something when I'm doing it. So let's get started on that. Dave, Slim, Peg Leg Dave the Gnome, whatever your name is, bro. Thanks a lot for that. That was a heck of a lot better than using a sketchy ratchet strap. I haven't got the words what kind of relief this thing was and how easy it was to use. Anyway, you guys who have got an iron head for the first time, you got an idea how that works. So now what I'm going to do now, all there is left to do on the primary, is to go ahead and put the primary cover on and maybe even adjust the clutch, you know? Why not? I mean, it's not gonna run for a while, but at least that will be one less thing I'll have to do. So, let's do that. Okay, let's see if we can do like what the book says. This is my clutch adjustment screw. This is the lock nut. And when I get to the point where I'm going to have to run this thing down, this is a 13/16 nut. And I just use a 13/16 spark plug socket with a screwdriver that I'm going to run through this hole right here while I'm holding it with this crescent wrench on this hex end of the socket. You guys will see how that goes. So this thing goes inside of here like that. Run this thing all the way down until it gets harder to turn. Okay, I just felt it hit. And the book says to turn it 2 more turns, so I guess that's 2 more rotations like this. 1 rotation, and 1 more rotation like that. All right, that's 2 rotations. So what am I going to do next? Read the manual. And the manual says, like I was just reading it before, it says turn the cable adjuster clockwise to remove all clutch cable free play. That should be easy enough. All right, we're going to do like the book says, and we're going to adjust all the slack out of this cable by this adjustment right here that's in the primary. It also says do not adjust so much out of it that you have tension on the cable. So just adjust the slack out of it. So whenever I see this clutch handle closed all the way but yet no tension, I will know that I am where I need to be. All right, the clutch cable is starting to move. Boy, it sure has a long way to go. All right, getting close. Maybe a little more. Okay, got all the slack out of the cable, and the next order of business, it says to run this lock nut all the way down. Okay, the next thing to do is, the book says, turn the screw until there is no tension. All right, there's no tension. And then the book said again, then turn the screw clockwise until it lightly seats. From this point, turn the screw counterclockwise, quarter to a half a turn. Okay, all right, it's lightly seated. I'm gonna turn a quarter to a half a turn. And then I'm gonna take my 13/16 socket and I'm gonna put it on that nut. But I'm going to get a not so wide screwdriver to do this. There we go. All right, let's try this again. The screw is where I want it. I'm going to hold it in place with this screwdriver. You guys see that? Then I do like that. Get this socket over top this nut. I'm going to turn the socket like that. Feel some tension. And I'm going to tighten that nut down. All right. And it should be where it needs to be, according to the book. The book also says that I should have about 1/8 of an inch of free play in the handle. So let's see if we got that. And that, just by eyeballing it, I can pretty much say that looks about 1/8 of an inch of free play. And it feels just like what a clutch handle ought to feel on this thing. So that is so cool. Slim, Peg Leg Dave the Gnome, whatever your name is, bro. Again, thanks a lot for this tool. I mean, you can give me a holler whenever you need it right back, because I got your address and everything. And by the way, in between shots, I gave the missus those little crosses that she sent, and she loves them so much, man. Thanks so much for that. And so anyway, you guys who may have got some knowledge out of this and you've learned something, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, okay, if you're new to this channel. And if you are new to this channel, feel free to subscribe for more videos coming up. And I have no idea what I'm going to film next, but I will try to keep it interesting. So you guys keep the rubber side down, and you be good to yourselves, and thanks a lot.